The man put a plastic bag over the woman's head. Then he pins her to the ground. The woman smashes the back of her head against the man, rushing to pull the bag off her head, shouted to the man in the distance for help, but the man was listening to a song. David saw this and immediately gagged the woman. Took out the tape and sealed the woman's mouth, tied both hands and feet. After observing that no one was around, David was ready to go to the car, but the owner of the car on the side came back. He didn't find the woman on the ground. This is too unlucky. David drove over and picked up the woman and put her in the trunk. On the way, he encountered the police again. David pretended to be calm, but in fact, he was panicking. At the end of the red light, he immediately drove away. He dragged the woman into a secret room, shut the door and blocked the door with a vase of flowers, checked that the recording equipment was working. After cleaning up the blood on the floor, David went inside and told the woman, "The walls here are 4 feet thick," and added soundproofing equipment. "No one will hear you even if you scream your head off. Just answer my questions and you'll be fine." The woman nodded, but the moment the tape was removed, she began to scream loudly. David seemed to have guessed that this would happen. He walked out without saying a word. The woman also began to verify what David had just said, after trying to find the same thing as the other side said, and David took out his pistol and loaded it with bullets. He walked into the room again. By now the woman had calmed down a lot. She looked at the gun in David's hand. The woman said, "I have a lot of savings.
I don't want your money."
The story recently documented.
My name is Kathy.
David was disappointed by this answer. He walked out again. He went into the living room to check the woman's bag. Only the usual things like bank cards and cell phones. And Anna in the secret room took a lot of effort. Finally tied hands from the feet through to the front. When David opened the door again, Anna, who was hiding behind the door, knocked David down with a few punches, then crawled desperately to the outside. David, who reacted, rushed to grab her feet. Anna kicked him in the head. She got up and grabbed the vase on the table and smashed it against David's head. Then she crawled to the living room. She called the phone on the table to call the police, but before she could get through, David shot out the landline. The woman kept screaming for help through the glass, but there was no one here in the middle of nowhere. Step by step, the man is approaching. She started to beg for mercy. While David's guard was down, he grabbed the bottle on the table and hit him on the head. She took out her cell phone to call the police, but found no signal. After putting the phone away secretly, took a knife out of a drawer and cut the restraints on her feet, preparing to escape from here. At that moment David woke up, told her to stop trying so hard. Better get over here and sit down, or he'll shoot her. Faced with the threat of death, Anna had to sit down. David continued to ask her what her name was. He picked up the plate on the table and smashed it. He was about to raise his gun when Anna punched it away. David was furious and pounced on his opponent, but Anna grabbed his shoulder and bit him. She strangled David's neck. She didn't let go until he passed out. She tried to get the gun to save her life. David woke up and punched her unconscious. He dragged Anna into the chamber again. He came out and started cleaning up the debris on the floor. Every moment Anna also woke up from the coma. She took out the cell phone she had hidden in her pants. She held the phone up to the ventilation duct. Finally, she got a signal, but it cut out before she could say a word. David in the living room also noticed the phone was missing. Immediately rushed in and retrieved the phone from Anna's body. He smashed the phone with the butt of his gun and threw it on the floor. Angry, David shot Anna above. "If you don't tell the truth, or never." Under David's duress, she finally told him everything. Her real name was Lisa. Anna was the name of her dead sister. Lisa's father abandoned them for a woman. The family became the joke of the town. The neighbors would always talk behind their backs. Her sister chose to hang herself because of the public opinion. When she grew up, Lisa chose to become a nurse. However, during her tenure, female patients would brag to her about the fact that they were cheating on her. Lisa grew up disgusted with these bad women who destroyed other people's families. She used alcoholism. She had these women die in accidents. And among these women was David's wife. David knew his wife never drank. That's how he found out about it. So he started to follow and kidnap Lisa. Lisa told David that every time your wife worked late was to date that man, and that he visited her several times during her stay in the hospital, and acted in an intimate manner. Hearing this, David was devastated. He opened the video of his wife's death. Sure enough, He found something wrong. His wife saw the caller ID on the phone. She hung up the phone in a hurry, and the expression is also very unnatural. Seeing this, David was completely devastated. He could never imagine. He searched for 4 years for the truth, but his wife had cheated on him. Woman who was locked in the secret room found a broken tile. She used her broken phone. It took a lot of effort to pick it out. At this point, David, who had calmed down, came to the chamber.
You had no right to take my wife from me before I had a chance to talk to her. You have to turn yourself in.
Lisa didn't want to spend the rest of her life in jail. She grabbed a tile and stabbed David in the shoulder. She kicked him in the stomach again.
I'm gonna give my life up for you, and you expect me to keep it all up?
With that, she turned and ran out of the room. Found a kitchen knife in the living room. She ran back and prepared to kill David, but David hid behind the door and closed it. She caught her in the arm. David's shoulder was injured. Knowing that this is not the way to go on, so he ran to the living room to get a gun. Lisa came and kicked it away. David tried to pick it up. Lisa quickly stepped forward and threw him to the ground, the first to get the gun on the floor. Just then the nanny came back with her daughter. Lisa shot and killed the nanny. Then she abducted the little girl. David pleaded with Lisa not to hurt his daughter and promised to keep her secret. Lisa said there was no going back, because she called the police from the back room. The police would soon find the place based on the location. How could she explain all this to the police? Not to mention the fact that she killed the nanny. Lisa also said, "The child in front of you is not even your real daughter." And then Lisa tried to shoot her, but David stopped her. He said the house was equipped with a recording device, including all your words in the secret room were recorded. After Lisa heard that she was going to do it, the girl bit Lisa's arm and escaped. David threw Lisa to the ground. He slammed the gun out of his hand. He grabbed Lisa by the neck until she passed out. He was about to go to his daughter. Lisa stood up again. David shot her straight down. He found his daughter cowering in the corner in the back room. Then he grabbed the tape evidence and prepared to drive away. But Lisa showed up with a gun, pulling the trigger. He found that there was no bullet. David gripped the car door tightly. Then he threw Lisa out. He was about to attack again. Lisa felt the knife and stabbed him in the thigh. Then she grabbed a brick and smashed it into his head again. Finally, she grabbed the fork in the corner and prepared to kill David. David blocked the fork with his hand, and then he saw the right moment to throw it. In the moment of the fall, Lisa pulled down the garage door to brace herself. David rolled in time to avoid death. Lisa was not so lucky. David ended up holding his daughter tightly, said, "You are my child." And whether the girl was David's real daughter or not, only his deceased wife knows. I guess David also did not have the courage to do the paternity test.